Morning, Market Snipers. It's Jesse. It's 9 o'clock, testing out this music on StreamYard here, see if it's any good. It's pretty generic. It says daydreaming, so hope everyone's doing well. And we'll get started here. And the title is the Bitcoin bounce over, right? So we're gonna definitely get into that. Is the Bitcoin bounce over? Of course, we're looking at the NASDAQ futures chart, but we'll get started here. I want to take a look at the comments. Aldo, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Aldo. Let's see. There we go. Good morning, Aldo. First one in the comments. Music is all right. Yeah, I know they only had like 5 to 10 options. No, probably closer to 10 options. So probably. Probably have to find out some good music to intro and play and stuff like that. Colson, what's up? Good morning, my man. Colson. Good morning, Jesse. Good morning, Shankar. Is that how you pronounce it? Shankar. I always mess it up. When are we gonna get the y'all option? Oh, I know you're from the South, so good morning, y'all. I'm not good with accents whatsoever, but there you go. All right, so let's turn off the music here and we can jump right in. So again, the title is the Bitcoin bounce over, right? So we're definitely going to get into that. And we're still looking at, the NASDAQ and the overall markets and stuff like that rolling over, right? So this whole entire time, the live streams, the video updates on Bitcoin through the newsletter that we're doing weekly, 7 to 10 minute Bitcoin videos have all been talking about this, right? So we've been talking about it for a while. So nothing is catching us off guard. Nothing is a surprise for the snipers. We've been watching this, calling it step by step, play by play. And so let's get into Bitcoin right now. Whether you're the live crew, awesome, welcome, good morning, or you're going to be the replay crew because you're in a different time zone, or you're working, or you're running a business, or whatever the case may be, please like, comment, and subscribe, right? And if you subscribe, you can actually comment an asset that you want me to chart for you. And even if you're on the replay crew, still comment the asset you want me to chart, and I will cover it on the next live stream. So let's jump right into it. We've got Bitcoin here. The quick recap is, back here on the weekly chart, we were talking about a potential breakdown, right? We talked about it since here. There was breakdown. We talked about it here. There's bearish divergence. There's breakdown. And up in here around 29,000, we were talking about prices coming down, hit target 1, hit target 2, possibly retesting the 200-week moving average. It did, right? It did. And then we were talking about finding support possibly at a key target area, not just the 200-week moving average. And then bouncing, and then we'll see if it rolls over from there, right? So keeping in mind that we do trade the chart that's in front of us. Gert Jan Tenhove. Good morning, Jesse. Good morning, Gert. What's up? Welcome. So we have to dial into we'll drop down to the daily chart to see if that's it, right? It's starting to look like the bounce is over, but it's too early to call it quite yet. And this entire time we're saying that the weekly chart is bearish, right? So we're starting with the weekly chart. The weekly chart is still bearish. And we're talking about, will price let the trending dots catch up, right? The trending dots are red. The trending dots are trending downwards. And will the price let the trending dots catch up? Will price let the moving averages catch up? prior to moving down to hitting lower targets. And we didn't know if target 1 was all it's going to get hit, or target 2, or target 3, right? So as of right now, only 2 targets have been hit on this latest move. And so let's drop down the daily chart. So the daily chart, these are the longer term downward targets based off of the weekly chart. These shorter term targets, so I'll have targets whether it's on the 1 hour chart, the daily chart, or the weekly chart, right? Depending on what time frame you're on, it's going to have different targets, because each time frame has its own swing trades that are going on. So a lot of people that aren't familiar with swing trading, maybe you're an investor, maybe you're new to swing trading, or maybe you're a day trader or scalper, it gets confusing, right? I see the comments where, well, you said, you have targets down to 24,000, but price is increasing and you're in a long position. Yes, we still have longer term targets to the downside based on the weekly chart. We had targets to the upside based on the daily chart. And if I was dropping down to the 1 hour or the 15-minute chart, we'd be looking at targets, down here, right? So it really depends what time frame we're looking at. And as you can see in real time, I always hold the candle close more important than before the candle closes, right? So in real time, you just saw that the pending sell on Bitcoin daily chart is no longer a pending sell, right? So yeah, right? Even though we're trading the chart that's in front of us, first and foremost, oh, there it is, pending sell again, right? So even though we trade the chart in front of us, we are aware of the overall markets. And many people, I posted yesterday, many people believe that Bitcoin will break the correlation with the stock market. And in the past, Bitcoin has not done well. Is that good English? Bitcoin hasn't done well while the overall stock market is correcting, right? So the latest example is, say, March 2020, right? There was a bigger stock market correction and Bitcoin dropped 65%, right? So it hasn't done well in the past. And Bitcoin has never experienced, like a bear market crash, right? So if you look back at the dot-com bubble or 2008 longer term bear market, it's pretty much been up only, except for the 2020 correction. You could even call 2018, and you could call 2021 heading into 2022, right? But overall, like a longer sustained bear market, right? It's never, it was built after 2008, right? And so it's never experienced this higher rate environment either. So, a lot of people are very hopeful that it's going to break correlation. Until it breaks correlation, I'm not expecting it to break correlation, right? So it's still considered a high risk asset. And instead of it breaking correlation, I think once the futures were introduced in 2000, I think it was the end of 2017, I think it's become more correlated, right? And if the ETFs and the trusts continue to be built on top of it, I think it'll become more correlated, because it's the same investors and traders coming from the stock market are now coming into Bitcoin, right? Per 06, good morning. Hello, TTWO Stock Take Two Interactive. My friend wants to invest long term before the premiere of the new GTA 6. I'm telling him it's not a good time for buying. Okay. Per 06, you're giving your family or your friends financial advice. Be careful with that. Have fun. I needed help with persuading him. Oh, I'm not. I don't persuade anyone. I just show you what I see in the charts. I'm not trying to persuade anyone. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. Right? Yep. Question, financial opinion. Yeah. So, so in the shorter term, we've got this pending sell signal. It has broken down after hitting the second target. Price is breaking down from this trend line. We had drawn out this, trend line. If you look back on the previous streams, I had this trend line that was drawn out like this that hadn't been, there was no other wicks quite yet, but I drew it out based off of kind of like the trajectory of the trending dots, right? So like I just, started the trend line and kind of drew it out like that. And it's come back to retest it right now, right? So it's starting to look like, if you're a price action candle trader, and Bitcoin closed like this, you would say that that's a reversal candle, right? So it's starting to look like that was it for the bounce. And so at what point, did you take profit, or are you taking profit, or are you going to hold this to see if it bounces and then hits target 3, right? So those are all decisions you have to make, but it is starting to look like that was it, that target 2 might be it. And it's not confirmed yet. It could find support at the trending dots and make one last bounce and then kind of roll over, right? Because we were talking about, price coming down, coming like this, and then rolling back over, right? So, but we talked about, could it hit just target 1, roll over? Sure. Could it just hit target 2 and roll over? Sure. Or could it call them all the way back up to target 3 and even target 4? But at some point, you have to have your game plan of when you're taking profit and stuff like that. So, personally, I took profit, right? I was looking at the target 2 and target 3 as potential take profit areas. I did close my long position based off of the target 2 and also within combination of a lower time frame, right? So I was combining target 2 and a lower time frame. And if the lower time frame would have remained bullish, also keep in mind that the VIX was starting to pump, and the dollar continues to pump, and the overall markets are starting to correct. So I had this on a very short leash, and had moved the stop loss to break even, not even really expecting to make too much on this, but end up taking profit based off of the lower time frames and near the second target, right? So could I be wrong? Sure. But, the name of the game is to lock in profits, and, whether they're small or large, if you're always looking for that big home run, you're going to strike out a lot, right? You're going to strike out a lot. So the home runs will come. So focus on the base hits, focus on connecting with hitting the ball, right? G-Rod, morning, everybody. Good morning, G-Rod. Welcome back. Per 06 OFC. So it's too early to call it. Is the Bitcoin bounce over? The answer to the question is it truly is too early to call it, but there are signs. There's a pending sell signal and a potential breakdown of this trend line. You get the overall markets rolling over. You get the VIX pumping. It's up 9.12% right now. You've got the DXY that is up. And it just seems like that was it for the Bitcoin bounce. We may not get that that higher target hit, and it got very close. Like if you were to look at this, like it got very close back here, but never hit target 3, and then here target 2 was hit twice, right? This could be a lower high. This could be a lower high, and so it could just be rolling over. It's too early to say. It's still above here. Maybe maybe this becomes, upward trend line to hit target up here like this. But, as of right now, I'm out of the long position. And so you have to make your decision on what your plan of attack is. And you should have had it all mapped out before taking a long position if you're in a long position. Let's keep moving forward. That's 15 minutes of that. Hello from Germany. Doc, hello from Germany. Thanks for your work. Thanks, Doc. Thanks for returning. Thanks for your comment. Jay James. Hello from Ireland. What's up? Hello from Ireland. Let me know what time it is there in Ireland and Germany. Interested. Oh, Nav. Sorry, missed you. Good morning from UK. Good morning. Let me know everyone, the time zones there. Appreciate everyone jumping on, even though it's completely different time of the day for you. And I appreciate it. So, okay, let's keep moving. Let's go right to the NASDAQ. Then we'll look at the 10-year. We'll look at the VIX. We'll look at the dollar. A little bonus treat. We'll look at SQQQ after we do the Magnificent Seven, and then we'll start charting some 5:16 p.m. J James, and you were from Ireland. Okay, 5:16 p.m. Cool. That's a good time. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? And then we'll come back to the bonus SQQ, and in the final 15 to 30 minutes, let's go over your chart requests. So let's get rocking and rolling. We got a lot to cover. NASDAQ futures. I'm holding, again, not financial advice. I'm currently holding my NASDAQ futures short position, right? So up here, I've taken several positions on the NASDAQ futures. I was talking about it with one of our snipers, Nick, in the Discord in private chat. And I had taken a few positions. One of them got stopped out. It was a shorter term, not stopped out. It was closed due to the contract was expiring in 8 days. I was aware that was going to happen. I called it out in the Discord, and lo and behold, I was like, are they going to hold price up? They, quote unquote, they. Holland at 6:15 p.m. here. Awesome, Gert Jan. I was calling it out. I was saying, like, are they going to, they, quote unquote, going to hold up price until the contract expires? And the reason why I was calling this out, because before I got into crypto, I was trading options, and I've seen that happen time and time and time again. That price gets held up on the charts. The charts look like everything's going to roll over, and they hold it. The contract expires, and then boom, the move happens. Happened again. I was calling it out on the Discord. I said, watch out for, are they going to hold it up? So the two contracts that didn't expire are, I believe it's December. I'd have to double check. At least October, but I'm fairly certain December. It's a longer term contract nonetheless. Are perfectly fine. They're doing great. The one that the contract expired, I should have just, in hindsight, I don't know why I didn't just do 3 longer term contracts. So I made a mistake there, but it's not a big deal. And got in up there around that 15,005 to 600 ish area, and then I'm continuing to hold it. And one of the things we talked about, back here, that price come back down like this, back test, put another lower high, and then continue downwards, right? So that's a possibility for sure, and I could kind of see that playing out. And we're even talking about it again with Nick in the Discord. I talk about Nick a lot because he was on the live coaching crew. He's been with he was one of the first paid newsletters, December 2021. He was live coaching. He jumped all over. He was one of the first people in the Discord. He dove in head first, and he's definitely a good sniper. We're going to start having him on the live streams. We've even talked about doing podcasts. He posted this morning, a chart update. if he's not traveling with his wife and you know working his normal dentist business. He's volunteering by doing video updates, giving back to the sniper community. So what he's learned, the success that he's having on taking profits and being profitable as a trader, he's giving back to the sniper community. So he's going to continue to go down that road when he has more time. He still has to enjoy life and stuff like that. So hope everyone appreciates his video updates in the Sniper Discord. I appreciate it for sure. And you're going to start seeing them on camera here in the near future. So excited for that. Possibly Monday. Michael, good evening from Slovakia. Good evening. Thank you. Welcome. Okay, so also the trending dots, you can kind of see the trajectory of the trending dots, right? So it's possible it bounces back up and creates a lower high. Good morning from Peru. Good morning, Caesar. It's possible it comes back up, back tests, creates another lower high, right? On NASDAQ. And it would look like something like that. Well, let me just clone it, right? It's not that we can tell the future. We just obsessed over the charts for so long, right? We've stared and obsessed over the charts for so long. We've just seen this play out time and time again. The other option is it's bearish, right? So it could just continue down, put a lower high in, never retest, right? And somewhere between this target and this target, I'd be surprised if it just came straight down and hit this target. That would be amazing for my shorts, and I would most likely be taking profit, expecting a bounce. So at some point, there will be a bounce. So we're just kind of letting it play out right now. And if you kind of draw out like a very, very steep trend line right now, it's possible I continue to let my short breathe. And if price breaks this trend line, maybe I'll take profit, let it bounce, and then get ready to short the next bounce as a swing trader, right? So most likely something like that. I'm going to try to push it as long as I can, right? Push the short as long as I can. Try to maximize those profits, right? That's the whole name of the game. And then could see, at that point, kind of bounce back up sharply. Could even come all the way back up like this. Who knows? And then come back down, right? Regardless of where it is, that bounce happens, whether it's there or, it's much lower, right? Maybe it just kind of gets rejected there. Then I would expect it to come down and hit some more targets. So we'll see. That's NASDAQ. We're not going to spend as much time on, the rest of these assets, maybe on the Magnificent Seven. But I want to save some time to go over the comments, and I want to go over that bonus SQQQ as well. So I'm excited about that one. Okay, so here's a 10-year. Let's zoom out. We've got let's take a look daily. So the daily chart is ultra bullish, right? We got this orange candle. The magic wand is sometimes when the magic happens. I'm sorry if you don't want the rates to go up, whether it affects your business debt or it affects your mortgage business or your real estate business. I'm sorry if the rates go up. I'm just calling the charts as I see them. I'm not rooting for it one way or the other. I'm just showing you what I see and trying to take advantage of the opportunity that the market gives us. Whether the market is going up or going down, I'm staying neutral and just trying to capitalize either direction. The daily chart is ultra bullish. The weekly chart, the candle is on fire, right? The candle is on fire. I did this longer term potential bullish flag. I pointed that out on the Discord a long time ago. I pointed it out way back here. at 3.5% when it was starting to break out to the upside. There's a weekly buy signal. It's been bullish ever since, and it's been bullish since May, right? On this last breakout. It's been bullish since December 2021. And then there's a weekly close back above the 200-week moving average, and it's been off to the races ever since. So it looks like a potential bull flag. If so, and if you've been watching me for any length of time, you know my thoughts on patterns. I would say that 50% of the time the pattern works out. And if you count the actual measurement of the pattern, and this is why I don't take trades based off of patterns, but I like to look at them as potential ideas. I think it's less than like 33% of the time, or less than 35% of the time, that the actual measurement of the pattern will work out. So, but it's trending towards this next target, right? Monthly chart, bullish, right? Monthly chart is bullish. Could go ultra bullish as well. And you can see rates really start to increase. And that will, again, that's what I'm going to talk about. Bitcoin was started with a low rate environment under 4%. Bitcoin has never experienced rates being above 4% in the history. It's only experienced a downward rate environment. It's only experienced overall an upward, up only overall stock market, right? So I'm optimistic of the next bull run, but I'm very cautiously optimistic on it. A lot of things would have to turn around in the opposite direction. We've got a lot of time. We've got 6-7 months before the next halving. So we'll see how it plays out. But I'm also cautiously optimistic on, a next potential bull run. I always say, give us one more amazing bull run, and so the snipers can all take advantage of it. Let's keep going. Let's look at the VIX on the daily chart. We talked about this potential breakout before the buy signal, and then it broke out and gapped above on the VIX. Hit target 1, just missed target 2, consolidated, came all the way back down. It looks like 1, 2, triple bottom. And then VIX price broke out again. The trending dots are starting to curl back up. There's a green trending dot here. Had a buy signal yesterday, back up into target 1. The probabilities are continuing to stack. That target 2 will be hit. Then we'll see if it retests the 200-week moving average, right? It's bullish. There's a buy signal at the same time on RSI as there was a buy signal on price. So the weekly chart, interesting. I haven't even looked at the weekly chart. We have a pending buy signal on the weekly chart. We are talking back in August. Is this a potential higher low? Is it potentially being a higher low on the weekly chart? And could we see a bigger move? So was this the bottoming phase of VIX? And was this a potential higher low? It's a pending buy signal on the weekly chart. It's flipping bullish on the weekly chart. It's not good for stocks, right? It's good if you're in short positions, but it's not good for stocks. So if you're not shorting the market, there's always an opportunity, right? Going to cash is a strategy. We talk about that. That is kind of a hedge. Andre, I'm up late. Sup, guys? Jesse, what's up, Andre? Thanks for staying up late. Thanks for partying with us on the live stream. And awesome. That's cool. I wish VIX can stay above 20 for long. So you must be in short positions, Andre, if you're hoping that the VIX goes above 20 for long, or maybe you're trading the VIX. I've traded options on the VIX before. Do you think Michael, do you think ETH can get to 15K during next bull market? Also, what percentage chance do you think BC is going below 15? Oh, that's a lot of speculation. Might have to do that on a video, Michael. I am going to do a video tonight. I don't know what asset I'm going to choose. I'm going to send it out through the newsletter. This seems like a separate video to kind of do a deeper dive on ETH or BTC. BTC, I've definitely talked about a lot and put out my thoughts. It's possible it goes below 15, but as I've talked about several times, as of now, I think that's a lower probability. However, if it is a longer term bear market correction, as I talked about before, we could see lower lows, right? Andre, I just want a lot of volatility in the market for at least a month or two. Okay. All right, so that's the VIX. Bullish on the daily chart, pending buy on the weekly chart. It's getting bullish on the weekly chart, right? Watch out on the VIX. DXY still bullish on the weekly chart. DXY came back to retest the 200-week moving average, had a reversal candle. We're talking about a potential breakout from this long-term downward trend line. It happened. There was a buy signal, hit target 1, hit target 2, still trending upward, took out this high here, so that now we've got a higher high. There could be a higher low in the near future, and then higher highs after that. So we're watching the DXY. We're going to come back to the SQQQ as a bonus. Let's jump over to the Magnificent 7. You're going to hear the pace kind of pick up here so that we can have time for also, I agreed to be on Kelly Kellum this morning. Hit me up. Shout out to him. He wants me to, maybe I'm a fill-in replacement for Bit Labs. He wants me to be on his stream. I think he said 1:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm going to be on there for 30 to 45 minutes with Kelly Kellum on Bit Labs. So check it out. I'll post it on Twitter as well. So I guess I got to do two live streams today. I think we're going to be talking about crypto over there. So that'd be a good thing, Michael. Tune in over there. We can talk about ETH and Bitcoin a little bit more over there. Okay, so let's start going through the Magnificent 7, and we're going to go a little bit quicker because we've been calling this a lot. And then we'll start getting the chart requests. So weekly chart, NVIDIA. Again, bearish divergence. Again, RSI sell signal. Again, a lower high, right? The week's not over, but the week closes tomorrow. So most likely this will put in a lower low, right? It seems like at this point, let's drop down the daily chart. Target 1 was hit. Oh, target 1. I haven't even looked at it yet today. Target 1 was hit. Let's drop down the daily chart. That's the weekly on. Let's target 1. So it's flipping. It's not even bearish on the weekly chart yet. So these targets are going to get hit. We were talking about this. Let's change the color. Target 1 has been hit. I repeat. Okay, so target 1. So if price closes back below here, it's possible that we do see this play out where it comes down, kind of retests like that. The other scenario was, it was more like this. I had drawn it out from here, something like this, roll down, hit this target and trend line, bounce, right? Put it another lower high, and then break down, right? So it's still a possibility. I'm not in a NVIDIA short position. So just as a heads up, I'm not in it, but this is what I kind of see happening, whether it's a lower high here with, kind of letting the trending dots catch up, or it's more of a shallow one, right? Maybe it bounces and there's a more shallow one into the trending dots, right? And then continues downward, but it could continue to break down heading into tomorrow. And then maybe next week it kind of bounces and we kind of see a market rally, a market bounce next week, and then continues down the week after that. They say take the stairs up and the elevator down, so it's possible to just continue straight down as well. So we'll see how it goes. But Target 1 hit on NVIDIA. Magnificent 7 is continuing to roll over. This is Meta, right? The lower high, the reversal. We're talking about potential lower high. We're talking about the reversal. Could be another lower high. It's bearish. Sell signal, right? Two targets have been hit so far since the top. Probabilities continue to stack that we're going to see target 3 hit. Let's look at the weekly chart. Can you look at Polkadot? Rise Evans. Did I say that correctly? Is that how you pronounce it? Rise Evans. Yeah, we can look at Polkadot. We'll do that the back half of we'll do that in the last 15 to 30 minutes. So the weekly chart, again, there is a little bit of bearish divergence for the potential trend reversal. RSI sell signal. Looks like we were talking about this could be a lower high similar to the other Magnificent Sevens. It's starting to look like that now. Too early to call it, but we were too early to call it back here, and we'll continue to be too early to call it and then call it in real time, right? So it seems like this is going to be that lower high, and then it starts to come back down. We've got a 10% gap. Don't scare the kids. Massive 20% gap down here. After there was a massive 21% gap up here that we are talking about way down here. We talked about when it happened. We talked about way down here. Talked about the rally. Came all the way back up, filled that massive 21% gap. You got the 200-week moving average, 10% gap. Eventually, those gaps get filled when they're that big. We'll see if it happens again. That would be insane. All the way back down to 153. Whew. I don't think a lot of people are going to be ready for that one. Many people weren't ready for this move down here. Many people weren't ready for a rally up to here. Stay neutral, stay nimble, be a swing trader. Learn, if you're not a swing trader, learn to become a swing trader and control your own destiny. Let's go. Amazon weekly chart. Oh, man. We have a MACD pending bear cross, right? Price is breaking down from the weekly. We had bearish divergence, right? And this is a sneaky lower high, followed by RSI sell signal. And then we have MACD bear cross pending. Okay. And then let's drop down the daily chart. We had bearish divergence going back to June 2023, all the way down. Additional bearish divergence, followed by the sell signal. So we've got target bots coming all the way down here. Recap, Amazon already retraced to the March 2020 lows. Got this upward trend line. So will price come back down, hit this trend line again? We'll see. We'll see what happens. But Amazon is rolling over after bearish divergence since June 2023. We're 8 minutes over on the 15 to 30 minutes. So we're going to keep going quicker because we've been covering this all week. We've been covering it for a couple weeks on the live streams since starting to do live streams. The bearish divergence hit target 1, bounced. This is the lower high, the higher probability short, or that the reversal is in. So the higher probability that the next target will be hit. Never a guarantee. Bearish divergence on the weekly chart. This is the lower high, right? RSI weekly close below here would be a lower low, signaling that we're going to see these lower targets be hit on Microsoft, Tesla. If you're in a short position, it's I don't want to a lot of people, I don't want to get too crazy or too excited on here. We want to try to keep emotions in check. And also, when you're shorting the market, people get very upset because, and something to be considerate of, because it's different than buy the dip scenario, right? When you buy the dip, everyone's winning. When you're shorting and you're successful shorting the market or shorting a certain asset, people are losing, right? So like your family who may not be traders or investors, and they just have their money in the 401ks, or their pensions, stuff like that. Whatever the case may be, whatever they're in currently, then that their values are going downward, right? So, there's always going to be winners and losers. So we'll try to keep the emotions in check, but from time to time, you do want to celebrate your wins and celebrate the hard work that we put in. But we don't want to be complete jerks about it. But it's not really personal. It's more about like celebrating our own personal victories. I'm not like celebrating that people are losing. I'm more celebrating my wins, right? So I am competitive. So here's Tesla, right? There's no sell signal, but I pointed this out on yesterday's stream, right? Pointing this out, and we've been talking about it after hitting this key target, hit this key target, bounce. This was looking like a lower high. It's starting to be more and more of a lower high. Of course, it's not going to be confirmed until there's closes back below 213-ish, 212. But as a swing trader, you're not waiting for that, right? Like I'm not waiting for that if I were to short Tesla, or if I was in a long position, I'm not waiting for that, to lock in profits for it to come back down and put in a lower high. There are so many quote unquote traders, investors, well, there hasn't been a lower high put in yet. Well, I mean, if you're waiting for that, you're probably not as profitable as others, right? So we had a candle close below this trend line, below the trending dots, and then it opened up below that again today. So gap down, probably gapped down to 254, bounces, throughout the day, closes that gap before, resuming back down. So that's Tesla, starting to look like it's rolling over and been rolling over on RSI, right? Rolling over. So we'll see. John, I want Tesla to go down. I'm a longer term investor and always, here, it's easier to read it up here. I want Tesla to go down. I'm a longer term investor and always looking for lower prices to grab more shares. Okay, that's good. It's a good plan, right? You can be a very big fan of Bitcoin like I am, or a very big fan of Tesla like you are, John, or, my best friend, best man, my buddy, D-Dog. Shout out to D-Dog. Known him since 18. I used to call him D-Dog. Still call him D-Dog, whatever. It's fun. He's a big Tesla fan. He owns a Tesla, blah, blah, blah. Just had repairs done on the door, right, of Tesla. The door that swings up. He's got the SUV. He just had to get repairs. He's telling me about it yesterday. So, but he's a big Tesla fan. But that's a good strategy. It's always good to lock in profits, in my opinion, and you buy lower if you can. Buy lower if you can. So Tesla. Okay. Weekly chart. This could be, so had that RSI peak, right? Had the RSI sell signal. And then this could be that lower high, starting to look more and more like that lower high. It looks like other Magnificent Seven stocks have done very similar. And so some have been leading the way, like maybe Apple, as we're going to take a look at it, and NVIDIA, and then some are lagging time-wise, right? Lagging time-wise. So Apple kind of led the way, right? Back in July, and we were watching it. So you had the bearish divergence, right? And then you had a breakdown. Target 1 was hit. Almost target 2 was hit. And then it bounced and rallied as we were kind of thinking that it would possibly fill the gap. It partially filled it. Pretty much filled the gap. Only 0.45% of the gap was not filled. So partially filled, probably enough to satisfy the market or the market leaders or whoever's the big traders pushing it, right? Um, and now then we had another breakdown, potential sell, not potential. It was a sell signal on the weekly chart. So you can see here a lot of similarities to the other Magnificent Seven, where it did put in that lower high, another weekly close below, then a weekly sell, and it's just kind of been holding at this point, kind of letting the trending dots catch up. So we'll see, maybe not this week, but maybe next week or the week after, we see these lower targets start to get hit on Apple. Maybe it comes back down and retests the 200-week moving average, which it never did on the first correction. So we'll see if it does this time around on Apple. Let's drop down the daily chart. After, I had drawn it out. If you missed the live streams, you can always go back and verify this, but I had drawn it out like this before it happened. And something like this would happen, right? It doesn't play out exactly, but it played out very, very closely, right? It did play out very, very closely on Apple. There was a sell signal on the daily chart on the 6th, and ever since, then it gapped down, basically kind of been going sideways, and now it's still trending downwards bearish, right? The weekly chart is bearish, the daily chart is bearish, and so we'll continue to watch Apple. As Colson pointed out when I talked about it on a live stream, that Apple was about a $3 trillion asset, and now Apple is, and then it had lowered to like 2.75 or 2.76 or 2.75 when I was talking about it. As of right now, the market capitalization is saying 2.738 trillion. So it's continuing to go down, which is, it's going to basically, you're talking about these larger stocks, the Magnificent Seven. When they're going down, the markets are going down. And if you look at the Russell 2000, regular stocks outside the Magnificent Seven are going quite a bit lower. So that's something we could take a look at. The stream might go over because I do want to cover everybody's requests. So we're going to keep going. Google. We've been talking about this on the live stream. And we watched it broke down yesterday in real time. There was a sell signal in real time. There was a pending sell. We talked about it, bearish divergence going all the way back to May 2023. This is the sell signal. We've been talking about it, and then boom, comes down. Whether it comes down and hits the target first before it bounces, create that lower high, we're not sure. We'll see, but there's a gap here. There's a gap here. They're not massive gaps, but they're gaps, and they're on the chart for a reason. And I like it when there's more than 2, if not 3 or 4 reasons why to put a target out. And then I put in like the gap is, comes within that target. You've got the 200-week moving average coming into this target. It's a moving average, so it could be all the way up, into this target by the time, it happens. We'll see. Weekly chart, still early, right? So if it comes down, puts in a low, then see if there's a bounce, puts in a higher low, puts in a lower high, right? So puts in a lower low, similar to Apple, puts in a lower high, similar to Apple, and then continues back down, right? So that's what we'll be watching on Google. Could be lagging time-wise, right? So, okay, let's flip back over to, I do want to look at the Russell 2000. That's something I wanted to show. And let's see, I have it on here. Let's look at the Dow Jones. You can see in the daily chart, there's that lower high breaking down from the trend line. So where the NASDAQ kind of broke down here and then rallied and then broke down, the Dow Jones looks different because it's already below the longer term downward trend line, right? S&P 500 lower high, breaking down below 4,400 right now. Weekly chart, SP 500 hasn't even got a sell signal on the weekly chart yet. If we draw out this line like this, you got that trend line, you got this trend line. I'm trying to go a little bit faster right now, breaking down from this trend line. So retest here is going to be around 4,200. You get the 200-week moving average. If you're looking from here, eyeball test, sub 4,100 SP 500. Possibility, we'll see, maybe lower. We'll take it level by level. This is the weekly chart. Eyeball test, close to that 32,000. It's at 34,500 right now. I don't think a lot of people are going to be prepared for that. The snipers are. The snipers will be prepared because we're watching this every day, all day, obsessing with the charts. Keep the comments going. Make sure to smash the like button. We got to keep the algorithms happy, and let's keep doing this. So smash it, smash the like button. Guys, sound like a live streamer now, right? All right, let's go. Okay. I think that's it. We're going to call it on the going through the charts. The bonus chart. Hold on. Let's do the bonus chart, SQQQ. And then we'll get into then we'll call it on the charts that I wanted to look at. And then we'll go into your requests. Okay. So the stream's not over, but we will be calling it after we look at the SQQQ. Let's start with the weekly chart. So SQQ, right? This is the Pro Shares Ultra Pro Short QQQ, right? So if the NASDAQ is going to be correcting, this is the opposite of that. So if you're not sure how to short the market or something more than just going to cash, and you have some experience on trading and investing, and you know how to map out your targets, if you know how to when to take profit, if you know how to do stop losses, if you know how to do all of that, this could be a way for you to basically short the market, because this is an ultra pro short. So if you were to take a long position on this as like a hedge to the markets, while the markets are crashing, this stock would be pumping. And I believe I'd have to double check. I haven't double checked in a while, but this is I believe it's a 3x leverage QQQ. So you probably wouldn't even need to do like options on this whatsoever. And so if you bought this as a stock, ultra pro short QQQ, just know that this is like catching lightning in a bottle. So a lot of people won't be able to execute this. So again, you just want to be aware that, it is like catching lightning in a bottle. And so you'd want to make sure that you have everything mapped out in advance. However, let's just jump into it, because we all know this is not financial advice. What about PayPal? It can't stay. I mean, we'll get into it. That's a good question on PayPal. Comment. Let me finish my thought on SQQ, and then we'll get into the comments more, and then we'll get into the requests. So this is a low, right? It went through this bottoming phase. This could be that higher low, similar to the stock market's sneaky lower high. This could be that higher low on the opposite, right? So it's gaining strength. It's gaining relative strength. It's going to be gaining momentum on the weekly chart, right? You still have this longer term downward trend line, but actually if we tighten it up to this point right here, it's already broken out, right? So it's breaking out and is gaining relative strength on the weekly chart. It's still $19. The very low was 16, so it's very early, right? There's no buy signal on the weekly chart. but it could happen quickly. It's possible, right? So if we move into the daily chart, right, there was a buy signal. Price started closing back above the trending dots. Price broke out of the downward trend line, came back, retested the long-term downward trend line, and then finished strong and is now starting to gap up. So the probabilities are starting to increase that the first target gets hit. And so, as an example, from this buy signal up to, say, the middle of the target box, 20% gain, 50% gain. Those are the opportunities, and it's a 3x leverage. So it's more than that, right? So if I'll confirm it, but if it is a 3x leverage ETF, Pro Shares Ultra Pro, if anyone knows for sure, put it in the comments. I'm fairly sure it's a 3x, maybe a 2x, but I believe it's a leverage. So you'd multiply that by whatever leverage it is just by holding the stock. Again, it's like catching lightning in a bottle. It could just go quick and come straight down. So, just keep in mind that it could do that, and it could be in, out, right? It could be some wild swings possible. But just know, if holding it long term as a short when the markets are generally bullish overall, it's not a winning game. This is like one of those time periods that could pay off, but usually doesn't pay off, right? So the odds are stacked against you, but overall, it's been going through this longer term correction since October 2022. Basically, this whole time it was rallying, but you can see it's a downward play the entire time, right? So could be one of those catch lightning in a bottle up to $46 eyeball test. We'll see how it plays out. Maybe more, right? Maybe more. Okay, let's get into the comments. That's it for the charts that I'm covering. Stick around if you want to go through some chart requests and answer some questions. It's already 1 hour into it, but we're going to keep going. We're going to definitely run over time because there was a lot to cover, a lot happening right now. Bitcoin 26,600, down basically 2% today. So let's go back to the top and read through some of these comments about which one in the chart. TTWO. TTWO. All right, let's look. TTWO. And I'm going to go, it's all Take-Two Interactive. Thank you for putting on that it's Take-Two Interactive. That helps so much per 06. I appreciate that, because then when I search for it real quick, I'm not fumbling around for 5 minutes, right? That's perfect. So thank you for doing that. I've never charted this before. And so it just helps save time. So on this rally for Take-Two Interactive, let's see. So there is that bearish divergence from June till July on the weekly chart, right? This is looking like that similar lower high as the Magnificent Seven. And it's about to flip bearish on the weekly chart, and it should produce a sell signal soon. You see the trending dots curling over. You've got the trending dots turning red. And so, an eyeball test of a retracement, possibly it goes back below the 200-week moving average. We'll see how it reacts there. Again, I'm not a pattern guy, but this could be a left shoulder, could be the head and shoulder, could be the right shoulder, and then it breaks down, right? Puts another lower high, back test, and then comes back down to these areas down here. It's not bearish yet, but there's been signs that it'd be bearish, and it's rolling over similar to the stocks that we just covered. If you look on the daily chart, definitely bearish, right? So had this big gap down here. This is why I always like to start with the higher time frames, get the overall direction. We know this gap is here now by looking at it. From here to there, it's not a 20% gap, but it's not a 1% gap either. So it's almost a 7% gap. Also had bearish divergence, right? A lower high, breakdown, lower high, and selling off. Now we have after the sell signal, we have a gap down and a MACD bearish crossover. So for me, I'm looking for higher probabilities. If I'm looking for a long position on Take Two Interactive and I'm not shorting it, I'm waiting for a higher probability reversal, and it's in correction mode right now. So for me, it's a wait and see. And in fact, it looks more of like, hey, if you're looking for the opposite, right? So like if you draw out this trend line, to me that looks more like, okay, you've got that lower high, and it's battling, 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 and then you have that sell signal. Me, that is, as it's breaking down, that would be more of a short position for me, not a long position. And lower targets are going to be there. So that's take two. Let's keep going. Thanks for the comments. New comment. Okay, we'll get to all that. Let's stay up the higher comments, and then we'll just work our way down and try to go a little bit faster because we're already 1 hour in. Per 06 OFC. Okay, we just covered take two for you. Let's see if anyone else is. Maybe if we have time, we'll come back to that one. VIX. Okay, ETH. Let's look at ETH. Breaking down back below the 200-week moving average, right? Never made up that high. It's just breaking down right now. So this could be a lower high. This could be another lower high, right? And it's just breaking down on ETH. As far as like the longer term, you can see there's, a candle close there. And there was a pending buy signal on Ethereum, but there was never a buy signal like Bitcoin, right? So that is a key difference. There was bullish divergence, which that could actually be cleared out even with this wick. And that's where a lot of people get that's where a lot of people get discouraged with divergence. They think it's an overall longer term trend line and trend change. And sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not. It's just a matter of a shorter term trend change. So the last sell signal on the daily chart was battling, was back here on July 30th. And there's been no buy signal since, right? On Ethereum. It's bearish on the daily chart, bearish on the weekly chart. The weekly chart breakdown was mid-August, and it continues to trend downward, right? So that's Ethereum. We can get into more like macro thoughts and stuff like that. Maybe do a deeper dive, Michael, on a video update if that's what you're looking for. Let's keep going. TTW, thanks for clarifying. It won't be taking his financial advice as a promise. Well, I'm not giving you financial advice, so you can take it how you want. This is purely for educational and entertainment. Hopefully, it's entertaining too. I don't want it to be completely boring, right? I love the charts, so I could stare them all day, so I'm not bored whatsoever. But John, I'm always scared price is going to take off. John brings up a good point. The stream is definitely going to go over. Brings up a good point, John. I'm always scared price is going to take off from me like it did in 2020 and not look back and then have to buy back higher. A couple things on that. If you're trading or investing based off of that, it's based off of emotions, and you're not going to do as well. So you definitely don't want it to be based off of emotions. That's called fear of missing out, right? So fear of missing out. The way to get around that is by not relying on the news, by not relying on, the fundamentals. It's by staring at the charts. There's no way you would have missed If you were staring at Tesla charts over and over and over again, there's no way you would miss the March 2020 rally if you're staring at charts, right? So if you go back, Tesla, October 2019, right? There was a buy signal at $16. And then there was the March 2020 breakdown, right? You had a buy signal at $34. Another sell signal, right? Still below the trending dots. Another buy signal here at $38, right? If you just stare at the charts, you wouldn't miss this entire rally, right? So you only miss it if you're looking at or paying attention to the noise that's out there. You let people, if you're staying hyper focused on the charts and you know the charts inside and out and you obsess over Tesla, sounds like we have someone that really loves Tesla. You may or may not obsess over it. But if you obsess over the Tesla charts and you love Tesla, I would be very surprised if you missed something like that, right? So learn the charts and obsess over Tesla charts if you want to master Tesla trading and investing. I say master and obsessed over the Tesla charts. And we nailed targets to the downside. Everyone can attest to this. We've been following in Discord or Twitter. We nailed charts to the upside. I was even commenting that we had hit like 8 targets in the or the downside, right? Or to the downside or the lower high. And then we're going to see if we're going to hit more targets. So obsess over the charts. And then you can be an expert Tesla investor, trader, swing trader. So that's what I recommend. You definitely don't want to be doing it based out of fear to miss out. And a lot of times that happens for Bitcoin traders and investors as well. They're so worried about the upside, missing out to the upside. I can tell you with 100% certainty, if your trader or investor that you follow on Twitter or YouTube or whatever X app, right? Wherever you're TikTok, wherever you're following your traders and investors that you think are calling it out correctly, and they're not, that would be noise. And if it's based off of fear of missing out, it's because of the noise that you're hearing. So just trust your own charts and learn the charts first and foremost, and then you can block out that noise, and then you can actually be an expert for Tesla and be really dialed in. You don't even have to trade other things. You could just trade one asset if you wanted to and do really good. And I think Bitcoin, the traders, investors out there who are not successfully doing it over and over again, because they might be biased on Bitcoin. Even though I'm rooting for Bitcoin and I really like the idea of Bitcoin and I'm a Bitcoin fan, I trade it. I only traded Bitcoin pretty much on the main account in 2021. I'm staying neutral, right? Otherwise, I'm going to miss taking profits when it hits, $61,000 like it did. If I'm too bearish on Bitcoin, that's going to zero, I wouldn't have taken a $16,000, 800 long position at the bottom, and so on and so on and so on. So master the asset you really, really want to pay attention to and trade. Okay, let's keep going. That was PayPal. What about PayPal? It can't stay for long below COVID crash levels. A huge gap around 150, 250% from current price. PayPal isn't going anywhere, so it's a super opportunity stock, in my opinion. Your thoughts? Camly, TV, Gent, R. So actually, I've talked about this a lot, and these exact thoughts, right? So these exact thoughts on PayPal, that there is a gap. Let's see. Let's go to the daily chart. there is a gap at $72, right? And there was a gap at like $72. And it still is going through a bottoming phase, right? So if you look at the weekly chart, it still is going through a bottoming phase. And yes, the 200-week moving average is at $116. And yes, there is a lot of potential for PayPal. And yes, there is some massive, but at this point, when there isn't a buy signal like there was back here in July, after bullish divergence, right? Long-term bullish divergence, eventually, I believe PayPal turns around. Uh, Eventually, I think there's going to be a massive rally, a massive bounce. As of now, there hasn't been. And as of now, with the last weekly sell signal in July, you'd be guessing on that bounce, right? So I'm not here to guess. I'm waiting for higher probability reversal, like there was back here on the weekly, and maybe played out on a lower time frame. So on the daily chart, right? So like, you had that buy signal play, and then you see it kind of breaking down after that and gaps back down, right? So it's still going through a bottoming phase. Could have put in a lower high. It's way too early for that. As of right now, it's bearish. Another MACD bearish crossover pending. Weekly chart is still bearish. So yes, there are a lot of potentials. I agree, but right now you're guessing for that to happen, and I'm not here to guess. That would be additional. If we get a weekly close here and RSI close here, additional bullish divergence. We've got bullish divergence going back to February 2022. So for more than a year and a half, we've had bullish divergence, and we can continue to have bullish divergence for an extended period of time. So I'm not guessing. So that's PayPal. But good point. And I agree. Nav, can you please chart ING USDT? Sure. All right, let's take a look at it. I don't have that on the sniper watch list. It's crypto. I have it on another list, I believe, but just for saving time purposes. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Okay, Nav. We've got let's see. Let's that's the weekly chart. So had that weekly chart peak here, that lower high. So you had a lower high, a lower high. Nice rally, but this looks like this is starting to look like another lower high in the weekly chart. Broke down the weekly chart below the trending dots. Also, Nav, let me know if are you looking at a long, are you looking at a short? Kind of give us some context. What time frame are you looking at? Is it a longer term, like when are you going to do a buy the dip scenario, or maybe you bought the dip even though it's been trending downwards, etc., etc., etc. Right? So weekly chart looks like it went through a bottoming phase here, July 2022. And now we're just going to see if it's going to put in a higher low, whether it's a retracement back down to these area, comes all the way back down, or maybe even takes out the low. But as of right now, level by level is, will it retrace back down to like this area? Possible. Daily chart, I could say without looking at it, is most likely bearish based off of the weekly chart. You had this bearish divergence. You had a reversal candle. You had RSI sell signal. You had price closing back below the trending dots. You had price closing below the trend line. Bearish, 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 bearish. Another lower high. Another reversal candle. Pending sell signal, right? Dot, please. Okay. Thanks for reminding me, Rise Evans. I appreciate that. So as of right now, there's a pending sell signal, and it could find support at the trending dots, but could just be a similar move as here, where there is a reversal followed by breaking down the trending dots. So if it follows this pattern here, right? You can see further downside. So hope that helps. We're an hour and 15 minutes. We're 15 minutes over time. We're going to look at dot. Where are you? I think you're at the top. Let's see. Where is dot? I know I have it on the sniper top 40, which is more than the sniper top 40. All right, so type in dot. Where is it? Oh, come on. All right, let's go. Come on. Let's do this. Yes. There it is. Oh, okay. All right. So it's still bearish on the daily chart. Rise Evans is still bearish on the daily chart. So there is bullish divergence, right? And there's no divergence being cleared out. But with the overall markets rolling over, maybe there's future bullish divergence and it continues to be diverged. But as of right now, the daily chart is still bearish. It's in this downward trend. If we go to the weekly chart is still bearish, right? Weekly chart is still bearish. Long-term bullish divergence. Long-term bullish divergence as of now, but it hasn't closed yet. So, wherever that turns out to be, right, there could be longer-term bullish divergence, but it's just too early to say, right? It's overall, it's still bearish on the weekly chart and it's still bearish on the daily chart. So not even seeing like on the daily chart a breakout to like retest, the trending dots yet or not. So it's still kind of a wait and see, especially on the daily chart, wherever it is, and see if it, actually comes out and breaks out and puts in a possibly lower high and a retracement back up to these areas. But as of right now, still consolidating sideways at these lower levels, going back to September 11th, right? Consolidating sideways, and it's still bearish overall. So that's about it on dot. Brad C, good day. Nice to be here. Love your opinion on silver, boss. Okay, Brad. Yeah, I've been covering it, silver and gold a lot. So you can always go back to the other charts as well. Just to take a quick glance at it, for today, it's the overall thoughts are exactly the same, right? If you zoom out here, the overall thoughts on the stream is that it's just consolidating, right? It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, right? And so I put out this plan like that. So just going to kind of leave it like that on silver. Rise Evans. Thanks, man. You got it, Rise Evans. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for everything from everybody commenting, liking, sharing this stream. I appreciate you. I hope you have a good rest of your day or your night. If it's a good evening, hope you sleep well tonight, knowing that we're going to be snipering these markets together. And I'll see you tomorrow, Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right on the dot. I will put dot, no pun intended. That was an accident, Rise Evans. But we will be going live tomorrow at 9 a.m. I will schedule it out. And so make sure to hit the notify button so you're notified and you don't miss it. And we'll be rocking and rolling. Ella Sparkles is gone. Oh, Brad C. Brad. I know Brad. I was starting to get used to Ella Sparkles. So awesome, Brad. Longtime supporter. I appreciate you. Thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow.